If you're black and you feel like you are doing everything right, but life still isn't opening up for you, this message is not motivational. It is instructional. Why black people must rewrite their self-image to manifest the life they deserve. Number 1, program self-image. Our self-image as black people is not a product of luck or happenstance. It is the product of centuries of intentional programming, planning, and propaganda. We have been taught the limits of our abilities, the lack of our morality, and what we have been told is our instinctual inclinations. And what we have been taught is not only untrue, in most instances, it is in fact the exact opposite. We have been taught to believe our intellect is inferior, yet historically we are the creators of civilization, the early concepts of philosophy, astronomy, and math. Honest inquiries into history not only show the truth of this, but evidence of how it was hidden by misdirection or outright lies. It was implied that our physical capabilities were inferior, but this has been proven wrong so many times that now the stereotype is we are athletically superior, but inferior in morality and our instincts are more animalistic. Yet our history is full of selfless and admirable acts and compassion so vast that we consistently try to understand our oppressors rather than condemn them. When true scientific inquiries are applied to the age-old lies about our nature, it is either met with distraction or outright ignorance. It is like trying to convince someone of the facts, but they are not interested in the facts. They are only interested in continuing their current beliefs. So the subject you are talking about is replaced with a completely different subject, or they just choose to ignore the facts. This is probably why ignorance and the word ignore share the same root term. While ignorance is just a state of not knowing, to remain in ignorance, you must ignore information. And while the basis of this was created in the past, it is continued in the present. Kind of like a booster shot for our collective inferiority complex. Have you ever noticed that when a person of color makes a bad decision or is accused of making a bad decision, you hear about it immediately and consistently? While if a similar accusation is placed upon someone of a different ethnicity, you either don't hear about it at all, or if you do, it is mentioned briefly. Then, if it is proven that the person of color is innocent, you don't hear about their vindication at all. Or if you do hear about the vindication, the majority consensus continues to believe in their guilt. So the general perception of their guilt is continued, even if they were proven innocent. So the overall perception of people of color is guilty until proven innocent, while other ethnicities are presumed innocent until proven guilty. My intention is not to complain about this construct. It is to make you aware of the construct so that you are prepared to intelligently deal with it. Why black people must rewrite their self-image to manifest the life they deserve. Number 2, changing the program. First, understand who you are. All the years of planning, all the lies, all of the money spent designing doctrines just to create a negative self-image inside of you is a testament to how powerful you truly are. Know that you are greater than you can imagine. The proof is in how hard they try to convince you otherwise. Believe in yourself. Second, assess where you are. Understand how they see you and how they want you to see yourself. Be aware of the traps set up to confirm the lies that were told about you. Don't try to change their minds. Instead, walk through the minefield set up to make you self-destruct and strategically position yourself to protect yourself from the trap. Miyamoto Musashi once said, "Step by step, walk the 1,000-mile road. Today is the victory over yourself of yesterday. tomorrow is the victory over lesser men. The day after that, you will be invincible. What this means is constantly improve. Learn from your mistakes. Learn from your successes. Transcend the narrative and become better. Remember, it's not about perfection. It is about improvement. Position yourself to win. Third, understand your why. Enhance your vigilance with the meaning that you decide. Your ancestors survived and thrived for you to exist right now. You will survive and thrive for your descendants to exist in the future. You are in the center of power. You possess abilities and understanding that you inherited from your bloodline in the past. You will develop and enhance those abilities and understanding for your descendants in the future. But you are in the center of power, which is now. There is no time like the present because all true action is expressed right now. So now is the time to be all you hope to be and more. Build yourself to become the embodiment of the meaning that you decide. Why Black people must rewrite their self-image to manifest the life they deserve. Number 3, transcending the program. Once you understand the program, who you are in the program, where you are in the program, and your reason to elevate out of the program, the first step is to create your own program. Once you understand that where you are in this life is all a function of a program, the first way to really transcend the program is to write your own program. There are things you cannot change within their program, but once you create your own program, the only limitations are your imagination. Imagine if there were no limitations to what you could do. What would you do? Be specific. Create a guideline for your new program that defines your specific goal with one sentence. The next step is to create actionable steps that move you towards your specific goal. If your goal is something you can achieve without the input or actions of others, then focusing on your actions is a direct way to achieve your goal. However, if your goal is dependent on the actions of others, you still need to focus on specific actions to move closer to your goal. You may not be able to control the actions of other people, but you can perform specific actions which will influence the behaviors of others. For example, if your goal is to get 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, you cannot directly make people subscribe to your channel, but what you can do is set actionable goals of posting a certain number of videos per week, or researching what works in your niche and setting a goal to mirror successful techniques while maintaining your originality. As you improve, it is very likely your number of subscribers will increase, but it is important for you to focus on your actions and not the overall results. Once you decide the parameters of your program, actions are the building blocks to move you closer to your goals. The last step is to make sure you are always moving forward. Always make your next move your best move. Be a student of your progress. Understand what works. Understand what doesn't work for you, and constantly find a way to evolve into a better version of yourself. If you have someone in your life that understands your niche, ask them for feedback. If you don't have someone like that in your life, find a mentor. A mentor can be someone you actually meet, or it can be a person who you admire. You can learn from anyone, even people you have never met. Study their moves, their successes, and their failures, and learn. The goal should always be to be a little bit better every day. And in this way, you can transcend the program.